University, and I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the Jackie Robinson Society's annual event. It is my pleasure today to get to introduce to you Professor Steve Tuch. Steve is the chair of the sociology department. He is also a professor there. He is a longtime friend and colleague of Richard Zamoff, about whom and from whom you will hear a great deal in just a moment. And Steve is also a researcher on race and ethnicity. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and colleague, Professor Steve Tuch.
Thank you, Jill. Good evening and welcome. Tonight, the George Washington University Jackie Robinson Society celebrates the 62nd anniversary of Jackie Robinson's historic breakthrough. It continues its tradition of honoring persons who exemplify the spirit of Jackie Robinson, persons who are themselves trailblazers in their own right and who have made significant contributions to the residents of Washington as well as to the nation. The Jackie Robinson Society at GW began in 1996 with a small grant from the District of Columbia Humanities Council to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's integration of Major League Baseball. Over the past 13 years, the project has expanded to include a Jackie Robinson lecture series, a museum exhibit, a course titled Jackie Robinson, Race, Sports, and the American Dream, the creation of the Jackie Robinson Society, and the celebration of Jackie Robinson Night, held every April during the week that the 15th happens to fall. To date, more than 500 GW students have enrolled in the Jackie Robinson class. They have studied not only Jackie Robinson and the times in which he lived, but also the relationship between race and sport in America, and how that relationship helps us to better understand the significance of race in other, indeed in all, American institutions. More than 5,000 persons have attended Jackie Robinson Lecture Series programs during this period. These events have included historians, sociologists, other academics, journalists, as well as former athletes. Previous participants have included Rachel and Sharon Robinson, Roger Kahn, Arnold Rampersad, Michael Long, Michael Wilbon, and Christopher Lamb. My colleague, Richard Zamoff, has been at the center of all of these events from the beginning. Dr. Zamoff is an associate professor of sociology who joined the faculty at George Washington University in 1982. His prior professional engagements include service as a senior research associate at the Urban Institute here in DC, a senior scientist at the National Institute for Advanced Studies, a senior staff associate at the Center for Urban Education, and an associate field manager at the National Opinion Research Center at the University of Chicago. Professor Zamoff has also taught at Trinity University, Queens College of the City University of New York, and at Columbia College. His areas of specialization include the sociology of education, program evaluation, and social research methods in the relationship between sport and society. Since 1996, Dr. Zamoff has served as director of the Jackie Robinson Project, and since 1999 as faculty advisor to the Jackie Robinson Society. He also teaches the Jackie Robinson course in my department, the sociology department. For these past 13 years, he has been responsible for organizing the annual Jackie Robinson lecture series offered each fall to the George Washington University community, and open as well to the District of Columbia community. And each spring, Dr. Zamoff has organized Jackie Robinson Week. The sociology department, the Columbia College of Arts and Sciences, indeed the entire George Washington University, is deeply indebted to Richard Zamoff for his tireless promotion of Jackie Robinson's legacy. It's my pleasure to introduce Professor Zamoff to you. Thank you, and enjoy the evening.
I have to begin this evening by saying how appreciative I am at the size of tonight's turnout, especially at such a busy time of the academic year. I honestly did not know that Gavin Swanson was so popular. Feeble attempt at an initial humor. I don't know how many of you had a chance to watch much of ESPN last night. But I'm not sure if many of you knew that every Major League Baseball player on every team and every umpire wore number 42 as a tribute to Jackie Robinson yesterday. Every umpire. Jackie Robinson must be smiling somewhere about that. Young people today, of course, still need to know, and older folks still need to remember how it was before everyone and his cousin jumped on the Jackie Robinson bandwagon. And that's what many of our activities are all about.